It's a good Ag AM in Kansas morning. Good morning. Let's take a look and see what's coming up today. First, Dr. Chris Blevins introduces us to some fourth-year vet students while at the Dodge City Roundup Rodeo. Next, we catch up with Joe Bickelmeyer of Bickelmeyer Meats, who talks about the issue of grain-fed versus grass-fed beef. Then Ignacio Ciampidi tells us how K-State is bringing the university to farmers with on-farm research. And Dr. Dan Thompson discusses veterinary feed directives. We end with Mark Pettijohn, who's busy fighting weeds in his soybeans. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Hello, I'm Dr. Chris Blevins at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center today at Dodge City at the Roundup Rodeo. And we are joined with the fourth year students from Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center in an elective and talking about the elective itself. Lindsay, what is the elective that you're on currently here in Dodge City?
So we're on the Dodge City Rodeo elective rotation. It's a 1-week elective where we come and hang out at the rodeo each night, watch slack if anything gets hurt. We take care of that, see horses in between performances. We also get to go visit National Beef and take a tour. We also work and do some preg checking out at the sale barn. So a lot of cool things we get to see out here.
So it's kind of it's kind of busy, I guess, or we always have something to kind of do and deal with the heat and the weather, I guess, in between, right?
Yeah.
For the other aspects, Emily, what's kind of the aspects of your whole year? What do you do your fourth year of vet school? Because a lot of people may not actually realize how busy you guys are or when it starts and when it ends.
So for our fourth year of vet school, we don't get a summer off and we start right up in May. We do 3 to 4 week rotations, some of them just 1 week if it's an elective, ranging from, we spend a little bit of time with each department. So we'll spend 3 weeks with radiology, looking at x-rays and ultrasounds. We'll spend some time on soft tissue surgery, doing spays and neuters. And we'll go to the equine, to the ag side and help with the cows and everything, all the food animals, and we really get exposed to a lot, but we work a lot of long days.
Yeah, and that's something where some people think because it's school, you guys get a summer off, but your fourth year, there is no more summers
There's
off.
no more summers off.
It's a job now, right? So that's great. And so, Kelsey, what have we done here at the Dodge City Rodeo, and maybe what is your favorite event here at the rodeo?
Well, growing up, I spent all my time on the spectator side of the arena, so coming here this year has been a lot of fun. We've got to diagnose a corneal ulcer yesterday, and I think my favorite event would be team roping.
Team roping, all right, good. And it's always interesting, once you're a spectator, and you actually have been to the Dodge City Rodeo almost your whole life.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is great. So there's a interconnection then, so that is great. And then, Lee, why did you actually pick this elective or the Dodge City elective?
I grew up around rodeo my whole life, so I always thought that was interesting, and I have an interest when I get out of school in equine and large animal medicine, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to see a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and I think that's sometimes something that maybe people don't realize is how broad of an area veterinary medicine is and how many different areas you can kind of get involved with, and rodeo being one of them. So.
Yeah.
Well, I sure appreciate all 4 of these ladies here at the rodeo. They're going to be great veterinarians here in a year, and hopefully this kind of helps round some of that of their career. And we sure appreciate Dodge City Roundup and allowing us to come here and being the veterinarian here at this event. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center, and we'll see you around.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan here. Be sure to join me in Wichita, Kansas, September 15th and 16th as myself, Dr. Tom Knopfsinger, and Dr. Mike Apley are going to host Beef Today's Cowboy College. We're going to talk about how to start cattle on feed and some of the new management techniques of getting calves started on feed. To register, go on the internet to www.beeftoday.com/Cowboy College. Get registered, and I'll see you in Wichita, Kansas, September 15th and 16th.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Hello, I'm Sam Capone, and today we're at the American Royal in Kansas City at the Our Town, Our Food Convention. And I'm here with Joe Bickelmeyer. And Joe, you're the owner of Bickelmeyer Meats, which is actually located pretty close to the American Royal.
We're right across the river on the Kansas side.
So tell us a little bit about your company and what you talked about today at the convention.
Well, Bickelmeyer Meats is a family-owned business owned by my brother Jim, myself, my wife, and our son Matt. And we're vertically integrated to Bickelmeyer Land and Cattle, a working cattle ranch about 60 miles southwest of Kansas City, where we have a cow-calf operation, and we work a lot of those cattle into our meat company ultimately and sell the beef that's derived from those animals.
What are kind of some differences that you've seen in terms of the grass-fed and then the grain-fed?
Well, obviously there are two different categories of beef. The grass-fed is consistent with some people's wishes as to what they prefer to eat, and we respect that. We process a lot of grass-finished beef for the people that raise them. We also process and sell a lot of grain-finished beef, and we supply our counter with cattle from the grain-finished beef category.
Now, what's the importance of having both aspects for Bickelmeyer Meats?
Well, number one, it gives people a choice. We're blessed in this country to be able to have choices, and we offer those choices and let the consumer pick what they choose, and we respect that.
Now, you kind of said in your speech a quote from a KU doctor about the hormones in implanted beef. Can you tell me a little bit about that quote?
His comment was one individual would have to eat a boxcar load of liver to have the negative effects of a beef implant. And number one, nobody's going to eat a boxcar load of liver. No human that I know of is going to ever do that. And I don't know that scientific studies have ever actually proven the disadvantages of eating beef from an implanted animal.
So finally, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the changes that you've seen since you've become part of the Bickelmeyer Meats process.
Our clientele has changed dramatically over time. We have people from multiple ethnicities that shop at our market. So we're very diverse in our clientele base, and for that reason, we're able to sell virtually anything and everything that we produce and have to buy more of it. Appreciate the opportunity.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses in rodeos, and my shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery, and so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results with stem cell injections, but at about 3 to 3.5 months, I started to feel better. I started to have less pain and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months. And I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This segment brought to you by Heinen Brothers Ag, farmers helping farmers by offering quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today to protect your crop yield.
So the on-farm research program for K-State is trying to bring the university to farmers. And the goal is like the way to start to be more relevant and start to be close to farmers is to work immediately with them. And one of the things that we are working on this is trying to make sure that we are relevant for farmers and we are producing information that the farmers can use. So the idea of the program is very, very simple. We are working with several different farmers in different areas of the state, and basically we are asking them, what is your main limiting factor? Just tell me which is the question that you want to do some research about, and we are helping them to establish some protocols on how to do these demonstrations. And also we are helping them to do some statistics and showing them what is the real benefit. Because the idea is not only just to help them to design the plots, but also is to make sure that there is an interpretation and they can use the information for making decisions.
It was good to collaborate with the local extension agent, the university, with the professor, with everyone. We learn a lot from doing it. Sometimes just the act of participation will make you do a better job and pay attention to details, and that's inherently what's happening when we do these studies, either with the university or on our own. We really pay attention to the cost of our inputs. We keep the accounting all separate.
The reason that I come to get local data and local research and what's working in our area, because Kansas is such a vastly different environment from east to west. Recommendations across the board doesn't work in Kansas. And so I think that's where research and extension, Kansas State University really comes in hand. It is nice to be able to get out onto on-farm research plot, be able to see the research. You can correlate it back to what you saw. And so this is a great way for producers, local area, to learn on what's working here.
It's important for us to have multiple on-farm research sites to explore on-farm research under different soil types. As we've continued on with our second year of on-farm research with dryland corn plant populations, we're finding some interesting aspects of the research that the farmers are collecting on their own farm.
So what is the goal for the next years is to make sure that farmers around different areas have at least one plot. And they are researching and they are trying to investigate what are the main limiting factors. Improving the profits, minimizing inputs, saving cost. And the goal at the end is to make sure also that we have all this information available to the rest of the farmers.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Healthy cows start with the new Hired Hand automatic livestock sprayer. Rancher invented to provide an efficient alternative to pour-on and injectable parasite management systems. The portable design allows cattle to treat themselves head to hoof. Strategic device placement with pass-through activation technology takes the stress out of parasite treatment for cattle and the rancher. Get the new Hired Hand for yourself or become a distributor. Visit cowsprayer.com. The new Hired Hand makes healthy cows easy.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome to Ag AM Kansas. We're gathered here at Oberlin with Dr. Dan Thompson at the PAC Production Animal Consultation 4th annual summit meeting. Got Dr. Dan here. We're talking to speakers, and Dr. Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself and your association with PAC and how that all came about.
Well, I was a consulting veterinarian down in Amarillo with Cactus Feeders, and that's when I started to get to know a lot of the PAC members and in their individual organizations. And then I moved to K-State and was fortunate enough when PAC first started going to the meetings in the banks of the the bank basement in Oakley. And
yeah, you bet.
We used to have the quarterly meetings and
Sure.
watched y'all grow, and been very fortunate to be able to be someone that can stay engaged with what y'all are doing. I feel like we serve PAC, or try to serve PAC in whether it's research or if you need information or something like that. Our job is to support you and to help you with your practice.
And you do a fine job, not only for us, but for all the veterinarians in Kansas. Today, we have you here speaking. Tell us a little bit about your topics and how you're trying to help us.
Well, the first thing we talked about was the veterinary feed directive, and really that's talking about what's going to come down the pipe in December 2016, January 2017, about increasing veterinary feed directives for use of antibiotics in the feed. And then this afternoon, we talked about the consumer, the one beef. And my thought process is if you're involved in the beef industry, it means if you own a calf on a ranch or a calf in a feedlot, or if you're involved in the packing industry or the processing or retailer, or if you're a consumer that owns beef in your refrigerator,
sure,
we're all part of the industry. And doing something that's good for all is something all of us should focus on as a team to continue to provide that wholesome, nutritious product so that everybody can enjoy it.
So when you talk about the team and being a producer, give us 2 or 3 things that a producer can do or think about to help us as a team.
Well, I think the big thing is you know, it kind of goes back to the number one thing is it takes a lifetime to build a reputation, and it can be gone in the blink of an eye. And we have, you know, the first thing is become a member of organized agriculture, understand the issues at hand, understand what's legal, illegal, and just be good stewards of the animals and the land that the good Lord gave us the dominion over.
You bet. So as we talked to the other Dr. Dan Fries talked about getting some of his Nebraska money and turning him into a K-Stater. Dr. Dan was an Iowa Stater, then a Texas Techer, you know, red and maroon, or maroon and yellow, and red and black. Now it's purple.
Yep, purple
the
pride.
Color of royalty, the best color in the nation.
Absolutely.
How proud of the purple are you?
Well, you know, it's one of those things that if I'd only known then what I know now, a guy had probably gone to K-State throughout. And I'm awfully proud to be a part of the K-State family. Very proud of our alumni, very proud of our faculty, our students. You know, the students are why we're there. And getting the students there, helping them be, you know, the formal education occurs in the classroom, the informal education occurs in the hallways and in the trucks, and really getting to know them, building that trust, building that relationship so that when they get out like you and I, they have a person to call and bounce things off of and just enjoy each other and enjoy the beef industry. But there's no doubt that we've got the Wildcat pride and Kansas State University.
Well, very good. With that, thanks to Ag AM in Kansas, and thanks for being a great Kansan.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers, farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, hi, this is Mark Pettyjohn. We are in eastern Saline County in a 36-acre soybean field planted, I think, on June 7th. I turned my head for 2 weeks here in July, and I only recently sprayed it 3 days ago, as the pigweeds were almost as tall as I am. And I sprayed a product called Cobra, and of course with some glyphosate. The field has different levels of kill going on, ranging from ones that aren't gonna die, some of the taller weeds, to some of the pigweeds are looking promising. But then some of them, the ones I know that will die, are bent over 180 degrees. And I actually had a small weed that I had grabbed from way down beneath the canopy, and it was almost completely healthy. So 20, 25 gallons per acre. Didn't penetrate perhaps the whole entire infrastructure of the plant matter. So I'm kind of worried about the smaller plants actually coming later, but I'll be back. And then the soybeans did get burned, but they'll come out of it. I have some fields I sprayed 2 weeks ago, and the soybeans look completely healthy. These beans are actually starting to flower, and the beans actually look pretty good despite the weeds. But this is, I had 2 fields that look just like this, and they are, on a scale from 1 to 100, I'd give it a 0 as far as weeds. It's horrible. A large reason why the weeds have gotten out of control this year is because steady rains all through the month of May pushed the May work into June, the June work into July, and having sprayed this in mid-July, basically, it was a couple weeks overdue, and that lends itself to what I said earlier about being a couple weeks where I turned my head for 2 weeks during wheat harvest there, when I should have been here spraying. We were double cropping and taking care of other fields that needed us and doing a good job there perhaps, and we took it for granted that this, the pre-emerge would hold the weeds out here, but obviously it did not. But when I sprayed this field 3 days ago, you couldn't even see the soybeans, and at that time I thought, gosh, we're talking about 20, 25 bushel beans because the weeds are taking the moisture, the sunlight. The beans aren't getting good growth. The beans are being set back, much like these are being burned and set back. Had a late planting date. Normally we're mid-May, we were early June. Now it's like these were planted in mid-June almost. Maybe it's not that bad, but now today I'm here and I thought these beans have, 30 bushel potential. So it definitely, the cost of the products I put on were $12.55 per acre, which is a lot for one pass. I'll definitely come back and treat it with something again but there might be a flush of velvet weed or something at that time.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.